Well, the game of football has taught me so many things, man. Now, think about the huddle we have right now, right? I tell people this all the time. There's a reason why they call it a huddle. People have been huddling all their lives, trying to find ways to enhance each other's lives. The great teams do that all the time. The great teams do that. The better the huddle, the better the team. And so it's simple, man, how if you huddle for all the right reasons, we wouldn't have Ferguson. We wouldn't have some of the challenges that we have in our society. But as we all know, there's always a moment when somebody doesn't belong in the huddle. And yet we have to continue to move on. We got to continue to play. So the game of life, man, is always starting with a huddle. And for me, I'm lucky enough to know that, by the graces of God, man, it's been a nice huddle. It's been a nice huddle. And if I just keep making sure that he's in front of me, I'm gonna be all right.
Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our FCS Week 1 preview between the North Dakota State Bison and the Montana Grizzlies. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with North Dakota State. North Dakota State, despite losing some pieces up front defensively, are still strong on both sides of the line of scrimmage, and it's imperative that they impose their will versus a Grizzlies team that's dealing with a lot of inexperience on both fronts. And third down defense is important in every game, but more so in a contest where the opponent is breaking in a new quarterback, running back, and a few pieces up front. You can't allow a young, inexperienced offense to get confidence with long, sustained drives. For Montana, it's simple. Get off to a fast start, whether that's with early defensive stops or a few first downs on the opening drive, perhaps starting with a home run type of a play offensively, whatever it may be, to get you rolling, you have to do it. And you have to make the Bison run game one-dimensional. And what I mean by that is North Dakota State loves to run everywhere. You'll see some off-tackle power. You'll see some belly, some inside zone, outside zone, zone read. You'll see a little bit of everything versus the Bison. Cater to your strengths to take away one element of their ground game. My suggestion would be to force them to go east and west instead of north and south. The biggest X factor for North Dakota State will be the Bison secondary. In last year's matchup, in which I was in attendance in the Fargo Dome, the Grizzlies gave them fits in the passing game, and that was against a more experienced Bison secondary. This year they lose some key parts, but for the Grizzlies, their main threat, Jamal Jones, is back, along with 3 other key contributors from last season, so the Bison back end has to be ready. For the Grizzlies, junior quarterback Brady Gustafson has the size at 6'7", 235. He has the arm and the talent on the flanks to make some noise this season. For this game, it'll be his ability to play well, both pre and post snap, that could ultimately determine the outcome for Montana. Now here are some 2016 draft prospects you want to keep an eye on in this ball game. Senior prospects only. Carson Wentz had a lot of buzz over the summer. See if he can capitalize on what he did last season. Joe Hague is an outstanding offensive tackle. Zach Vrah was a tremendous receiver last year for the Bison and Wentz's favorite target. And C.J. Smith, the outstanding cornerback, will have his hands full with the Grizzlies pro prospect Jamal Jones, who's a tremendous playmaker. What's up, FCS football fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook with FootballGamePlan.com.
And I'm Kevin Marshall from AnyGivenSaturday.com.
And we are the hosts of the FCS Wedge presented by AnyGivenSaturday.com.
Check your local listings for station and time in your area. I like North Dakota State in this one. The Bison reload each and every season. Never seem to have a drop-off in the talent department. Montana will be an exciting team to watch in the Big Sky this season. I don't think at this point they're ready to knock off the Bison.
I love football. I cannot get enough of football. I watch it on every level.
The emotional release. Whether it's an exciting play that gets you all jacked up and juiced, or whether it's the fact that you're able to pour everything you have. Whatever frustration you had that week, you can put into that first kickoff coverage, that first block that you have, whatever it might be.
And I couldn't think of anything better to do to fill that void that you have as a football player than to get into coaching.
you get a chance to release a lot of emotion that you otherwise have no place to release. There's nothing else like that.
Again, the relationships you build and the people you're around, and watching the guys compete, not just on the football field, but in life after they get done playing. It's just an amazing game.